a new Arlington dining option puts its own spin on the idea of fusion cuisine.
2 APD officers put their own spin on the police ride-along.
And there's no great way to spin this. If you're looking for a house in Arlington, good luck.
We'll explain next on ACMi News.
From McLennan Park to Spy Pond, from Poets Corner to the Mystic River, we have Arlington covered. We're your neighbors, a friend you can turn to. This is ACMi News.
Hello, Arlington, and welcome to ACMi News. I'm Helen Frazier.
And I'm Toby Barrett. In their July 19th meeting, the Select Board endorsed a long-term plan that would significantly change Arlington's transportation infrastructure. Senior news producer Anim Osmani tells us what the plan entails.
The Connect Arlington Sustainable Transportation Plan is a 20-year strategy that ensures residents, visitors, and workers a reliable multimodal transportation network that accommodates people of all ages and abilities.
The plan's goals are to create a network that provides safe facilities, mobility options that meet everyone's needs, a pedestrian-first, walk-friendly environment, a low-stress biking experience, and overall rich transit environment, and a system that reduces climate impacts from travel. Strategies to implement these goals include prioritizing improved safety at intersections and along road segments with the greatest pedestrian and bicyclist conflict, increasing access to bike and car shares throughout Arlington, and increasing bus frequency on the highest ridership bus routes to reduce crowding and provide greater comfort. The Select Board gave a strong endorsement to the plan, but also cited some concerns about the funding.
I heard a lot about transportation, about pedestrian priority, about bicycle safety, about traffic safety for cars. And I will say my first 3 to 4 months on the board, the thing I have heard the most about as a Select Board member from residents is traffic safety in neighborhoods and in our streets. And it all hangs together. There are safety concerns, there are critical climate change concerns, and even if all you care about is traffic congestion, we cannot solve this problem if we just keep digging in on car priority. All of those things will get worse. We have to be transformative. I think this is a guide that will help us do that. But to be clear-headed to the max, these projects need funding, and the town has very limited funds.
Similar to what Mr. Helmuth said, as our planning director said, there has to be a paradigm shift. There also has to do that not just with the Select Board, but with our legislative delegation in the State House, as well as the federal government.
And there's many parts of this plan that are goals to move forward. Some of them are large goals and some of them are easy to implement. And I look forward to what that will look like.
To be clear, the Select Board endorsed the plan. Further conversations will be held to fully implement the Connect Arlington Sustainable Transportation Plan. We won't see any immediate changes now, but we'll see incremental improvements to our transportation landscape over the next 20 years. For ACMi News, I'm Anim Osmani.
Thanks, Anim. If you've been recently looking to buy a home, you may have noticed how competitive the market is right now. Home prices have been going up for years, and while realtors across America have seen this happening, the pandemic only accelerated the trend. These rising prices, combined with fewer available homes for sale, make it harder to purchase a home. I spoke to a couple of local real estate agents to better understand what this competitive market means for the town.
There's just not enough inventory for the number of buyers.
That's Emily Forshey Crowley, a realtor with Century 21. She has been working in real estate for over 25 years and has monitored the ongoing changes in Arlington's housing market. Katia Pitts from Leading Edge Real Estate describes these changes.
The balanced market, to me, would be considered between 6 and 8 months of inventory. And if I check right now, basically in single family segment in Arlington, we have 0.8 months of supply. So that's ultra low. It's definitely a seller's market.
Many people are drawn to Arlington for the way it combines the feel of both city and suburb. With more and more people looking for homes in town, Arlington's housing market has become ever more competitive.
We're seeing buyers waive mortgage contingencies in order to make their offers competitive, to give themselves an edge over other offers. And I'm also seeing that they're expanding their territories. their search to a very wide range.
But this is not just an Arlington phenomenon. It's happening all over America. According to research from the National Association of Realtors, the median existing home price in May of 2021 is 24% higher than it was the previous year. The shortage of for-sale homes continues to boost prices across the nation, causing buyers to expand their scope and look into multiple towns.
I've never seen this happen before. Usually a buyer will just look in one or two towns and stick with it and then eventually find something. But it's just been so competitive that buyers have had to expand their search in order to buy a home, in order to find a home.
Both Katya and Emily have some advice for those looking to live in Arlington while the market is so competitive.
You know, if you can't get your dream house outright, it's okay to start small or start from the 2-family. It's even better, you know, because it's not just single families in Arlington. The best part is it's a diverse community. So we have a growing segment of townhouses and condos.
I would advise them first to understand the marketplace, and they can do that with a good professional realtor. And they should start off by knowing what properties have sold rather than what's on the market, so they can see what the asking price was and how much it sold for. They should also be very familiar with how quickly properties sell. So when they do find a property that they like, they will be realistic about how quickly they need to respond and how much they're going to need to offer to get the property.
Katya says that this short supply is nothing Arlington hasn't seen before.
When I started doing this 15 years ago, I looked 10 years prior to that, and still Arlington had low supply, you know, median prices, you know, doubled every 5-7 years, things like that. And I have to say what's happening with the low supply in Arlington this year or last year is nothing new. It's been like this. So once you're in, I think you'll be happy to realize that anytime you sell, there's going to be another family or, you know, someone who would love to buy your home, basically.
According to Redfin, there are currently less than 1 million homes for sale in America, about 760,000. Over half the homes purchased in the past few months have sold above the list price, causing many to ask what this means for the future.
A popular coffee house in the center where people can kick back, sip on some espresso, or delight themselves with sandwiches, expanded seating options for patrons indoor and out. Here's our youth reporter Jasper Zelmer with the info.
COVID restrictions have impacted local businesses for 16 months now. Due to guidelines that prevented indoor dining, Kickstand opened an outdoor dining option for customers. They expanded their seating area and added umbrellas and decorative lights and plants to create a more comfortable environment for customers. Co-owner Emily Shee said they would keep the patio open even after COVID is no longer a concern and continue to focus on their outdoor experience in the nicer months. I spoke with some customers and employees about their thoughts regarding the outdoor dining experience.
So I feel like it's really great because it's like kind of shaded, but you can also see like all of Arlington Center. It gives you like a really cool view. And I also think that it's nice how like some of the parking spaces were repurposed for more seating outside, because just, especially when it's hot out, it's the best to just be under one of the umbrellas, sit with friends.
It's actually been one of the few places that I've come the pandemic that's like had seating space all season. And I think it's a really great way to just keep this small business alive and open.
I like it a lot. It's really nice because we don't have to have people inside, but you can still have a lot of customers, especially when the weather's nice.
About 2 weeks ago, Kickstand opened half of their cafe for indoor dining. 2 employees shared their thoughts regarding COVID safety.
I was wary at first just because we're all getting reacclimated to like the new way of being, but it feels very safe, and I would say our patrons are very respectful of personal space, and a lot of people like myself opt to wear masks unless they're sitting eating, and especially useful on very rainy days. or very hot days when people are looking for the AC.
I've only been here during COVID times, but we have a really nice setup inside. It's a little scary because it's hard to regulate who's vaccinated and who isn't, but it's also really nice to be able to have people inside again.
Some customers and employees shared what they appreciate most about the kickstand experience.
I love the food. The salads, the rolls, they have a really good soup. Just like good food all times of the day.
It's on Mass Ave and it's on the bikeway, so it's a good place to stop, especially if you're doing the entire route from, Davis Square to Bedford. It's like a perfect midway stop.
We have so many regulars, and it's like coming to see friends, coming to hang out with friends, both the coworkers and the people who come in all the time. It's a great, great community atmosphere.
Our friends at the Old Schwartz Mill are unveiling a new exhibit featuring works that 3 local artists produced during the pandemic. It's entitled 3 Views of a Secret and reflects the artists' particular responses to the isolation brought on by COVID. ACMi news reporter Sophia Titus visited the artists as they readied the exhibit for its opening.
The pandemic was isolating for everyone, but it also allowed people to explore their passions on a deeper level. 3 local artists used the pandemic to connect back to their artwork, creating a beautiful exhibit full of nature-inspired paintings and sculptures that help them get through these trying times.
Bill Cohen, Gwen Chasen, and Dan Cianfarini are all local artists using different mediums to express themselves. Each artist supplied very different works of art for the Old Schwartz Mill's new exhibit titled 3 Views of a Secret. Sculptor Bill Cohen explained the meaning behind the show's title.
So one of the secrets is this mill. The other is that during the time of the pandemic, as artists, we've been essentially creating in our private studios. And our work has not been seen, so we're really thrilled. We feel in many ways our work has been secret. We don't want it to be a secret now, so again, very happy to have it out. And then just one more I'll add, which is we are also 3 people of a certain age, if you will, but we've been artists for over 25 years or 30 years, and while we've conducted a business career. And so in many ways as artists, we're relatively unknown, and we want to reveal ourselves and sort of open our secret that has been our own artwork.
Each artist found inspiration for their pieces and love for art in their own way.
Well, this exhibit comes at the end of this crazy pandemic isolation time, where as a kind of senior person, I was really careful about staying out of the public eye. So I had a lot of hours at home and a lot of time to think about art and what I'm interested in, and I love to experiment. So I tried some new methods and processes and just had a great time. And out of that came a kind of a diverse group of work.
I found that whenever I would go into a museum or a gallery, I had a tendency to just aim for the watercolors. So I took drawing and painting classes at the ACA, fell in love with it. I was bitten by the art bug, even though I was already in my early 50s, and kept at it.
Well, some of it is what works well with Gwen's and Dan's pieces. So they have a very natural feel to them. Dan's are landscapes and from New England, but also around the world. Gwen's are birds' nests and flowers and really natural. And so I wanted some of my pieces that are more evocative of nature.
This exhibit was conjured in a time of great isolation, with each artist using this time to create from their own view of what was going on in the world around them.
For a good part of the pandemic, I could not make any art at all. And then as I kind of mark my process of recovery from that really traumatizing period of time with my interest in art and the amount of art that I was doing. So as things started, as a light began to glimmer at the end of the tunnel.
The momentum that was happening in the winter of 2020 just carried me through the pandemic. I just wanted to get a body of work done with the Sicilian paintings you see in the South American paintings, and that just carried me.
With such different mediums, the artists spoke about how they came together.
Well, we are kind of proud of this exhibit. We really pulled together a bunch of work, and the three of us have enjoyed working together. I'm very nature-based, kind of a little bit expressionist, and Dan is highly realistic and a wonderful watercolorist. And here's Bill making these natural forms that are sculptures and often fountains.
So we invited Bill, who would not be contributing two-dimensional work, but three-dimensional work. So we thought his work would be very complementary to what we do, because the three of us all draw inspiration essentially from looking at the natural world and natural landscapes, or man-made landscapes.
The artists wanted to recognize how great of a venue the Old Schwartz Mill is, as well as its historical importance.
And as I look around it, as I start to install my pieces, I get even more of an appreciation for how nice it is here and what a special spot it is.
Our host, the Schwartz Mill, is an absolutely wonderful site. If people don't know it, they should come here and learn about it.
After months and months of work, the exhibit is finally on full display, and Bill, Dan, and Gwen urge anyone and everyone to come get a look at their beautiful art.
I think what you're going to find, again, is a level of creativity and mastery of each of our crafts that is very positive and probably, again, a secret to many. So you should be equally pleased to see it as we are to show it.
So we hope you listen to some music and come up and see us in this beautiful, historic, very cool building, and enjoy the art.
The Old Schwartz Mill will be holding an opening for the exhibit on Saturday, July 24th from 2:30 to 4:30 with live music from Coffee and Cocktails. If you can't make the opening, though, do not fret, because you can see this exhibit on display through the first week in November. This beautiful art is something you do not want to miss. For ACMi News, I'm Sophia Titus.
2 new restaurants are opening in Arlington Heights.
But it's actually one.
What does that mean?
It's 2 restaurants, but in one space.
Well, how does that work?
Well, our reporter, Alexandria Cassia, went to the restaurants to break it down for us and preview what's to come.
2 distinctive cuisines will be served up in a unique style. An Asian and Italian restaurant will mesh together at a joint location. Coming soon to Arlington Heights. Ginger Exchange and Master Pie's Artisan Pizza both plan to reopen side by side after several successful launches in Watertown and Boston.
Well, about a dozen years ago, we opened our very first location in Cambridge, Inman Square, Cambridge. And so that was really our first time delving into the Asian fusion cuisine. And we've learned what people like over the years and kind of fine-tune our menus, which includes Japanese, Korean, and Thai food. Sushi, of course, which is my love. Here we are with our 4th location. And we're trying out pizza because we have a member of the team that's passionate about pizza. He's worked for pizza places before. And so, we're just like to dabble into it. We really think that being here in Arlington, there's a community of people that, since the pandemic, have really gotten used to, takeout and delivery, that this is something that I know my family would love. The kids would love pizza, and I would like my sushi. So it's kind of a great merge of the 2.
The new eatery will dish out both quality Asian cuisine and handcrafted pizzas, all available for takeout, delivery, and catering. The Mass Ave space was formerly occupied by the Great Walk. After rebuilding from the pandemic, it now has a sign celebrating the dual concept.
Well, I feel we found a really great spot here in Arlington with a lot of visibility, street visibility. So almost a year ago that we identified the space, and the pandemic has definitely taken a toll in terms of how quickly things move. And just in general, from the contractors, to the town, to just the staff even wanting to, keep pushing forward despite the kind of pandemic mentality of everyone just kind of, just seeing and feeling the uncertainty of it all. By word of mouth is really our biggest kind of promoter. So we hope to be a strong presence here in Arlington and the surrounding towns.
Ginger Exchange's most popular dishes include their sushi and Korean barbecue. And with the style so unique, it will bring the community together.
for us, noodles are comfort food, so pad thais, drunken noodles, sushi is a great one. Come winter or summer, sushi is a great kind of great takeout food. That's really a specialty item that people, can go out to dine, but also for having the comforts of their home and treating themselves.
Master Pies has become a crowd pleaser with its customizable pizza options. One of them is an off-the-menu item known as the sushi pizza. That's a hit.
Basically, it's a nori, tempura nori with rice, and then sashimi on there, and then jalapenos and tomatoes. So that's a sushi item that's very popular.
The menus of both restaurants will feature their signature chicken wings.
I would definitely recommend trying our Wow Wings. They're very popular. Once you try them, you can't really, go back to regular wings. They're jumbo, super crispy with soy garlic, and our spicy Thai barbecue or buffalo flavors.
With this entrance into another Boston suburb, Christine hopes the fans of the restaurant will continue to support their expansion outside of the city.
I am hoping that as a local business owner that the community will support us and so that we can continue growing.
Now, whether you're in the mood for noodles or just a slice, they'll both be just steps away coming this summer. For ACMi News, I'm Alexandria Acacia.
Thanks, Alex. Ginger Express and Master Pies is located at 1181 Mass Ave. They will have a soft open sometime next week.
Moving on, the 41st PanMass Challenge, a charity bike ride fundraiser for the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute, is fast approaching. Arlington residents are doing their part to raise money for cancer research, including Arlington police officers Michael Hogan and Dennis Mahoney, who are once again taking part in the challenge. I went down to the Arlington police station to find out what inspires them to ride.
So what it is, it's a fundraiser for Dana-Farber for cancer research, cancer treatment, cancer patients. So it's a great charity because 100% of the donations goes directly to Dana-Farber. And they rely on this charity to help support them during the year with all their research and hiring new doctors and all the stuff that they do there, which is unbelievable.
For officers Hogan and Mahoney, the PanMass Challenge has become a yearly tradition. Hogan will be taking on the course for the 9th time. And for Mahoney, it will be ride number 7. While raising over $100,000 is something that Officer Hogan is very proud of, what keeps him coming back to the ride every year is the camaraderie between all the riders.
And one of the coolest things about the PanMass is everybody has their name tag on the bike and says where you're from. So as you're riding, you'll strike up conversations with a whole bunch of different people, and it helps fuel your tank or keep your energy level high. So when you're coming up on a tough hill, you're talking to somebody, or you ride next to somebody else that has music going, which, like I said, just it motivates you. And then while you're doing this, it could be raining out and there's families out like holding signs, "Thanks for riding." Yeah, it's right. It's unbelievable.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's great. You know what I mean? He and I like train, like he said, 3 or 4 days a week. We'll go out and ride after work, and it's just it's fun because we're good friends. So it makes the training a little easier, a little better, more fun. We'll go out and just ride.
Hogan and Mahoney are riding for 3 Arlington residents who lost their battle to cancer earlier this year. Also for Lieutenant Dan Kelly, who is in year 2 of his battle against this horrible disease.
We have a co-worker that's really battling really hard the last few years. We have a pin on our uniforms here that we dedicate to him, and I think about him when we're riding a lot, and what he's going through, and hopefully whatever we're doing, what we're doing is helping somewhat, every little bit helps,
The PMC is still accepting donations all the way up to the ride on August 7th.
So if you go to the PanMass Challenge website, you can look up individual riders. So all you'd have to do is just Google Michael Hogan PanMass Challenge, or Google Dennis Mahoney PanMass Challenge. It'll come up. The team we're riding for is the Arlington Angels, and there's 15 members of our team that all reside in Arlington. And if you look up any one of their names, or if you type in Team Arlington Angels, the link should come up and you'll be able to donate that way.
And that will do it for this week's newscast. Thank you for tuning in. For ACMi News, I'm Toby Barrett.
And I'm Helen Frazier. We'll see you again next time.
You can always check out our latest segments and newscasts on the web at acmi.tv/news. And don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at ACMi News. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. You'll find us at youtube.com/ACMi News. If you have any news tips for us or wish to become a citizen journalist, we'd love to hear from you. Email us at news@acmi.tv or stop by ACMI Studio A at 85 Park Avenue.